Good afternoon and welcome. We do apologize for the late start due to technical difficulties on our end. Here's what we have in the bulletin. A new record. Jamaica's COVID-19 positivity rate the highest since the pandemic started in March last year. More medical oxygen arrives on the island. And later in sports, Reggae Girls head coach to continue in World Cup qualifiers. I'm Anthony Lugg. Here are the details. We begin with news that the country's positivity rate has hit a new record. The rate over the last 24 hours stands at 54%. The country recorded 739 new cases of the coronavirus from 1,508 tests. The total case count is 67,402. 723 people have been admitted with the respiratory virus. 62 are critically ill. Meanwhile, the total number of active cases is at 17,288, and the virus also claimed 6 more lives for the period August 27 to 28, increasing the death toll to 1,510. And with the arrival of a shipment of medical oxygen this morning, supplies are expected to improve in hospitals across the island. There were concerns on the weekend because some hospitals were struggling with little to no supply. Shamela Pullen reports.
On the weekend, several hospitals had experienced extremely low levels of oxygen. The oxygen is important for the treatment of COVID-19 patients. TVJ News on Sunday was also informed that a number of deaths have occurred at a hospital due to the shortage of medical oxygen. But speaking on TVJ's Smile Jamaica program on Monday, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton said about 1:50 this morning, a shipment of bulk oxygen came into the island.
All the stakeholders, customs and otherwise, IGL, work diligently to take that off. It has been processed and oxygen is now in the logistics system, moving to different hospitals. I know KPH has been fueled, a number of other hospitals. So we now have bulk supplies and it is now being distributed throughout the trade.
Dr. Tufton says another shipment is expected sometime this week.
I think the challenge will be eased today. Hopefully by midday, all would have been given supplies. And we just have to plan accordingly because the quantities run out quickly. A big part of it is importation, getting it from the sources around the world because everybody has a demand issue. But I can say that we're past the worst now, at least for the time being.
Meanwhile, Dr. Tufton says progress is being made where the vaccine take-up is concerned. He says more vaccines should be in the island in the coming days.
Those who are qualified to come on board, retirees and so on, we are looking at private hospitals, school nurses and so on. So we're doing enough now, I think, where over the next few weeks you will see more offerings for vaccine take-up. And yes, you're right. I think that a lot of the stark realities around COVID is now coming home to close to home for many people. Everybody knows somebody who has passed, unfortunately. And there is a rethink among a segment of the population towards vaccination.
Shamela Pullen, TVJ News.
And the Ministry of Health says the vaccination site at the National Arena has reached its capacity for now. Members of the public who wish to be vaccinated should go to the Mona Aging Wellness Center at the University of the West Indies Mona campus. In the meantime, with the spike in COVID-19 cases, hospitals continue to run out of bed spaces. Cody and Barrett tells us more.
A picture of inside the Mandeville Regional Hospital in Manchester went viral on the weekend. It shows patients on mattresses on the floor in a corridor of the hospital. But according to Chairman of the Southern Regional Health Authority, Wayne Chen, that picture only tells part of the story. He says the hospital was actually shifting patients around, clearing out the outpatient room to turn it into a ward.
We are getting some beds. The KPH had some excess beds. We're getting 40 cots from the Seventh-day Adventist Church. It has been a race for the last several months to increase bed space. I was saying earlier that in the region we have doubled our isolation space for COVID cases. We have expanded into other properties. We are acquiring for, at least for the foreseeable future, the use of the Seventh-day Adventist Hall in Mandeville, which is right across the road from the hospital.
He says a similar approach will be taken for other hospitals to keep ahead of the surge in the region. He also notes that in all 5 hospitals in the region, about half of the cases are COVID patients. In the meantime, with reports of critical oxygen shortage at the Savlamar Hospital, Chairman of the Western Regional Health Authority Eric Clark says in order to meet the demand for oxygen, the hospital had to get creative.
So what Savlamar did was to create 2 specific oxygen areas where all oxygen patients went into one of those 2 areas yesterday so we could manage it. At times, we were busily trying to find cylinders to replace the oxygen bank. We were able to get 7 small oxygen concentrators from a doctor in Kingston.
He also revealed the vaccination status of those patients who were hospitalized.
Right now, they have 92 patients in isolation. 56 are confirmed positive. The remaining 36 were awaiting results. But I will help give you the figure as well. 0 out of those 92 patients have received any vaccination.
With the arrival of a shipment of medical oxygen this morning, they are expecting some relief. They were both speaking on the morning agenda on Power 106. Cody Ann Barrett, TVJ News.
It's time now for a break, but stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. And for a look now at the latest in the economy, here's Cody Ann Barrett with a Business Minute.
In the world of business, digital transaction systems company WePay has officially relocated its headquarters to Jamaica. WePay CEO Alwyn Wayne says the company hopes to garner a significant share of local digital transactions.
The first 12 months in Jamaica, in the unbound population, we expect to pick up about 5% of the market. Over the next 5 years, because of our product suite, we anticipate to actually get a quarter of the online payments market in Jamaica. So by 2025, which is just under 5 years, we expect to be doing at least 25 to 27% of all online payments in Jamaica.
iCreate Limited made a loss of $29 million for the year ended December 31, 2020. It also accumulated a deficit of $89 million. As at December 31, 2020, the company's current liabilities exceeded its current assets by $22 million. From inception, the company has not achieved the level of revenues projected and required to sustain its operations. According to the company, this indicates the existence of a material uncertainty that may cast significant doubt on the company's ability to continue. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Cody Ann Barrett.
And it's time now for the Midday Sports Report. Simon Preston is here with that.
Thank
Simon.
you very much, Anthony, and welcome to your Midday Sports Report. Let's kick off with football. General Secretary of the Jamaica Football Federation, Dalton Wint, has confirmed that Hubert Busby will be the man to lead the Reggae Girls in the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup qualifiers. Initially, Busby took over from Hugh Menzies on an interim basis. However, Wint says Busby will be the man to lead the Reggae Girls in the qualifiers, which kicks off in November.
We are settled with Hubert. He is a good person. He's qualified. He has done favorably well with the girls, and I think he can carry us to Australia in 2023.
Wint has also vowed that the Reggae Girls will get all the necessary support to be competitive in the 2023 World Cup qualifiers.
They have qualified for the last World Cup. We are hoping that they will be able to qualify again. We have, earmark and work out a plan as it relates to how we're going to treat with that. It's too big thing on us one time. It's a whole heap of economic pressure that is on the JFF. But we understand that we have no choice but to give the players, both male and female, the best opportunity.
The Reggae Girls will kick off their campaign at home to Bermuda in November. And that is it for your Midday Sports Report. I'm Simon Preston. Anthony, it is over to you.
All right. Thank you, Simon. And that's the Midday News. I'm Anthony Lugg. Join us at 7 for Primetime News. On behalf of the news, sports, and production teams, good afternoon.